DJB. Welcome to Photo Critic TV, folks. Episode number 19. If you don't already know and you want to have your photographs reviewed, just jump on to www.photocritictv.com, click to submit. I'll have a look at your photographs online, on camera. It's totally free. Hit up the website, people. Hit it up! That was a bit overexcited there. If you want to have a look at my portfolio, you can see what I do here, why you should care what I think. www.djbworldphotography.com. Episode 19. We're getting Aaron.
I don't care what you think.
Oh, at what episode should we celebrate? What's a good number? What's a good commemorative number? What number should we start celebrating that we've done something awesome here?
The million.
That's quite a high number.
We're celebrating that?
You're an idiot. Alright, let's get on with it. The first one's from Dave Brown. Dave, welcome back. I think I've had a few from you before, so thank you for submitting again. Dave's shooting with a Canon 7D, 85mm and an 18-135mm lens, and he's got some more shots from around Thailand. I remember, Dave, you submitted one from Bangkok last time, and I actually think it was the same. No, it was a lady, but I don't think it was this lady. Anyway, first one, Dave, the first thing I'm going to say is this. When you're taking photographs of people, try not to cut off their limbs where they bend. So in this case, what's happened is we can just see where her elbow bends and then the start of her forearm, and then you've cut off the photograph. So either zoom in more so that we can't even see the joint in her elbow, or step back and get her arm, the rest of her arm in the photograph. So that's what I would have done in this one. I would have stepped back so we can see more of the scene, and I would have placed her a little bit more to the right and up a little bit more, I think. So just so we can see a little bit more of her body and a little bit more of her environment. Again, like I said in one of the other episodes, is there any reason why you're using black and white here? Send in some colour ones, let's have a look at those. I do like the conversion, but I'm just interested to see why you've chosen to use black and white and what it would have looked like in colour. So just to sum this up, very nice lighting. The composition's nice, but don't cut off people's limbs. And so the placement of the subject's good. You've used the rule of thirds. She's placed on the right third. Her eyes are roughly on the top third. Good shot, Dave. Thank you very much for that. Let's go to the next one. Okay, so this is a lady, looks like she's fixing something with some kind of screwdriver. The first thing I noticed, like straight away, is the bottom left-hand corner is some kind of stick-like object that is kind of protruding into the photograph. This is definitely a distraction. Frame that out somehow. So either zoom in, zoom out, find a different angle, just so that that's not there altogether. This photograph does look a little bit dark, so maybe a little bit underexposed. We can't see really a lot of detail on the lady's face, so I would have probably brightened this image up a little bit. And apart from that, in this case again, you've kind of cut off the bottom of her elbow, so I'm thinking I would have stepped back so that we can see more of her again. But I do like how you've used a neutral, non-distracting background here. So there's not a lot going on in the background that's distracting. Placement of the subject is nice. Lighting, I would have brightened it up. But the bottom left-hand corner, frame that out. Although it seems like a small thing, it is actually quite important. Dave, photograph 3. It's OTB time with Aaron.
G'day.
G'day again. How you going? You still awake? Or?
Yeah.
Not really professional.
This is what I live for every week.
Because it's not professional to fall asleep on the job. Did you know that?
I didn't, but okay.
Well, you look like it. Alright, let's stop arguing. Okay, so guys, OTB on photograph 3 off the bat with Aaron beyond the frame. Every episode we pick out photograph 3 to see what Aaron thinks. He's never seen it before. Off the bat, are you ready?
Yep.
You got 7 seconds. Why did we choose 7?
I don't know.
I don't know either. Here we go.
Why do we choose 3? Wax on, wax off.
Bit of Karate Kid action there, you reckon?
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, cool. Dave, so I'll try and elaborate on what I think Aaron's trying to say here. This kid, he's training for a karate tournament. That's what Aaron thinks. Okay, great. Okay, so let's get on with actually critiquing the photograph. Dave, I love the light here. I don't know if you've done any, no, I was going to say there's possibly like a sepia kind of a conversion done here, but I don't think that's the case. Nice golden light. I like the silhouette. Placement of the subject again is nice. Right hand side, there's a lot of negative space, which is good. This time though, I'd like to actually see more of his reflection, so I can just see his feet there being reflected in the water. I would have probably moved the camera down so that he's up more, we could see a little bit more of the reflection, but you know, it's hard to go back in time and do these photographs again, but just have a think about that perhaps next time you're in this situation. But I like what you're doing here, Dave. Just a nice simple silhouette photograph, good composition, good light. Cheers, Dave. Emmy is from New South Wales, Australia. Emmy has a Canon 500D and she's shooting with a Tamron 17-50 f2.8, and this is her first attempt at HDR. Unpleased with the level of noise, one of those trial and error things that will come with experience. Okay, and you're trying to focus on the glowing field in the foreground. Okay, cool. Emmy, I must say, I think normally I dislike HDR, and that's because most of the time it's overdone. For those of you that don't know what HDR is, it's when we take 3 or more photographs of the same scene at different exposures and we digitally combine them in Photoshop afterwards. And most of the time it takes your photograph from being a photograph into a piece of digital art. Emmy, in this case, I don't think you've done that, and I think you've kind of used HDR lightly on the photograph, which is great. The biggest thing I can see as an issue here is just purely the composition. You place the horizon straight in the middle. Normally we want to place that, I would have placed that on the lower third, or if you want to bring some more focus to the foreground, place the horizon on the top third. That's about it. Also, there's a little it's a little bit unbalanced, I think. So on the left hand side there's some trees. On the right hand side there's nothing to really balance that up. But apart from that, the image is nice and sharp, the lighting is good, and the lighting comes from obviously the HDR processing. All good. But just think about the composition. Landscape photography, normally we want to place the horizon on one of the upper or lower third lines. Thanks, Emmy. Thank you, Dave. That's it for episode 19. I'll catch you in episode 20.